Hi everyone, this is Jen again, and my husband,
Mark.
And so we're back. We're gonna discuss about K1 visa or fiancé visa that we went through. So as we always say that we're not professional here, we're just explaining what we went through for all the.
We're explaining, so here's the deal. We're going to explain what we went through going through the K1 visa. And we did a K1 and K2. And basically, to let everybody know, we're going to be looking down from time to time. We've got a laptop here. There's a lot of information that I pulled together. And basically, we're going to try to link everything together and to show you guys what you're going to need to do on each of the forms. That'll help you through it. Okay? Again, we're not professionals, but this is what we went through. So.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yep.
Okay. So K1 visa is also known as fiancé visa. Is a non-immigrant visa issued to the fiancé. So the United States, the K1 visa allows the visa holder to enter United States. So meaning they only have 90 days to stay here in the United States. So that will take them to like married here to get married here while waiting for that 90 days and get the
Yeah, so during the 90 days, you need to have everything prepared and ready to get married. Once you're married, you're going to have to take and move forward and do the adjustment of status, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the I-485. There's a lot of things, and we're going to go through them. And in fact, there's going to be several places in here where we talk about each of the processes a little more in depth and a little differently each time. Several times, I should say. So if we go down to the next, who is eligible to file? Oh, by the way, the documentation that I've got in here, some of it was collected from NVC, some of it was collected from USCIS. You're going to need to deal with both of these as you're going through this process. And then some was from us directly and what we went through, and to give you a better idea of what you're going to need and where you're going to go and how you're going to do it. Anyway, who is eligible to file? Well, the U.S. citizen is the individual that files for the fiancé. It's filed here in the U.S. and then it gets transferred to the Philippines. And we're talking about the Philippines here, nowhere else, just the Philippines. So basically, we filed here, and what we filed was the I-129F, which is for the K1, and then we did the attachment for K2 as well, for a child. Then we had to file a G325A as well as a G1145. No. We filed an I-129F for the K1 as well as a child, which is a K2 visa. We filed the G325A. The above forms were filled out on the computer and then printed. When you do, make sure you sign and date them. If you don't, they will reject them and they'll come back. And oh, by the way, if they reject them, they can take the money that you deposited, that you sent, and not allow you to do it again. Normally they won't do that, but it is possible.
It's another transaction.
Yeah.
By USCIS as a personal check, so you can track the payment. Money order are also accepted.
You have to do a cover letter, and again, I'll try to put examples and everything inside here to where you can see what it is we're talking about. In the cover letter, you'll need to leave additional room to explain your case, to explain what you're doing.
Okay, so number 3 is Form I-29F, and then this is Petition for Alien Fiance.
Yeah. Number 4 is a declaration of how you met the person in the last 2 years, and make sure that you sign a date. But here's the deal. When they say how you met in the last 2 years, they want to know everything, guys, and we'll go through that here in a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay, so 5 is original statement, or both the U.S. citizen and foreign fiancé certifying an intent to marry within 90 days of entering the U.S. on a valid K-1.
Yeah, and to let you know, this is basically you have the intent to marry the individual that you're bringing over within 90 days from the time they enter the United States.
But we should suggest that they get married
Sooner.
Sooner, because there's a lot of paperwork that gonna come.
There's a lot of additional paperwork
Yeah.
after the fact, so you can go ahead and do that paperwork in advance, but it has to be stamped and on its way within 90 days, and my suggestion is don't cut it close.
Alright.
You're up. Number 6.
Okay, so number 6 is proof of having met in past 2 years.
What are some of the proofs?
So the proof will be messages, or from Skype, or Facebook, or any WeChat like that. I don't know those stuff, but
Well,
and pictures, right?
yeah, so they're gonna want emails between the two of you, chats between the two of you. They're gonna want pictures of when you were together,
Yeah.
whether it be in the Philippines or a different island or whatever. They're gonna want pictures of when you met their parents, their brothers and sisters. What else?
It's just you need to print it out.
You also need their airplane ticket,
Oh.
your airplane
Oh
ticket,
yeah, you need
over
to
there.
keep it. Yeah, and the receipt,
the receipts,
transportation like that, hotel.
the hotel, if you rented a car, that.
Car.
Also, and one of the big ones that kind of puts a stamp on it is when you take your passport and you take an image of your passport the way it is, right? And then you go to the page where you got the stamp and you photocopy that, print it, whatever, to where that will be a photo that you send along with it.
Oh yeah.
That way it just proves that you showed up.
Alright, so G325A, so
In the documentation, it says one passport type photo. Now, believe me when I say Let's see, what they're going to say is in the 325A, one passport type photo of you as a U.S. citizen. It's also going to be one of the fiancé, the K1, as well as if there's any K2s of them. So just to give you a little advance, make sure that you get several of the passport type photos. And it needs to be a 2x2 photo. The photo has to be with a white background. The hair needs to be pulled back to where they can see the ears. Gotta love it. Go to a reputable photographer to have it done. And my suggestion is get 6 or 8 of them all together.
Yeah, it's like
approximately 8 of them,
8.
just to be safe,
6.
because you're going to have them for many different paperwork filings, both in the Philippines and over here. Let's see.
Okay.
The G325A will need to be filled out by the foreign fiancé with their information, dated and signed as well. So here's the deal, and this is one thing that was really important. Is one thing that we did before I went over. I did a lot of the paperwork already. I did the 129F. I did the G325. I did everything that was needing to be sent in the first part. And we'll go over the parts a little later. But I did all that paperwork and I took it with me to the Philippines. That way, she could take and fill her piece in while we were there. And then when I went back to the U.S., I could just send it off. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're going to fill all your stuff out, and then you're going to have to take the paperwork and send it to her. She's going to have to take and do the same thing and then send it back. And to send the paperwork over and to send the paperwork back is approximately, if you want to get it done within a 2-week span, it's going to cost you about $150 more because of the sending it over, tracking it back. Next one.
Okay, so we're on 11, right?
10.
10?
No,
it's 11.
No, 11, excuse me.
Okay, so...
Sorry.
Okay, so... So cute.
Come on.
Sorry. Okay, so copy of the birth certificate from front and back for the U.S. citizen, or copy all of pages of the U.S. citizen passport issued with validity of at least 5 years, or a copy of the U.S. citizen's naturalization certificate from front and back. And then this is used to establish citizenship.
That's to let them know that you as an American citizen are truly an American citizen. Now, for any of you that have divorces, here's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to have a copy of all the divorce decrees. Now, this is a divorce decree that is signed by you, your ex, as well as dated, stamped, and signed by the judge.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you need to contact the county in which you got the divorce in and get a copy of that. The county will have a complete copy of the stamped, divorce decree. You'll send that for any divorces that you had. So if you were divorced twice or 3 times, you're going to have one for each one.
Yeah. And then proof of legal name.
Yeah, so this is proof of legal name change. So this is for you as well as for the fiance. You have to have complete proof, whether you're a U.S. citizen or a Filipina. All the documents have to be there. Those copies have to be given to the USCIS.
14, right?
Yep.
Okay, so in regards to section C, question number 2 is, if applicable, provide certificate copies of all court and police records showing the charges and dispositions for any specified convictions
In accordance with IMBRA. Now, what this means is, if you have taken, so let's start with the U.S. citizen. If you're a U.S. citizen and you have, if you've had issues with the courts, with whatever, you have to go get the police records and show the charges, the dispositions of the charges, and any specific convictions. Okay. The Filipina has to do that as well. They have to have the police record. The
NBI.
MBI.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the MBI. Now, okay. So, here we're going to go into a little more in depth, documenting the proof of having met in the Philippines in the past 2 years and having an ongoing relationship. So, here we're going to go through it real quick. Copies of all boarding passes, train passes, itineraries, hotels, passports with the stamps, other documentary evidence that you might have met in the last 2 years. Again, what I said, you're going over there to travel, take pictures in front of signs.
Yeah.
You know, you're in different locations, you're in Manila, take one. There's Manila signs all over the place. Take them there. Take them down by the bay. One of the places that we went to was what was the name
100
of it?
Islands.
Yeah, we went to 100 Islands. We also went to the one with the cold. No.
Baguio.
Well, we went to Baguio.
Yeah.
But no, the one in Manila.
Which one?
The Marine Park.
Marine?
Yeah, the Aquamarine.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
What's this?
I don't know. It's
Ocean Park, yeah.
Ocean Park. Yeah, we went to Ocean Park and we had pictures there.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, guys, if you get a chance to go to Ocean Park, dude, you're going to be hot being in the Philippines. You go to Ocean Park and they have a cold room where you can go in and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Cold. Okay. Make sure they're all color photos. You're going to we had probably, 10 or 11 pages of pictures and documentation. The hotel. What, baby?
I just remember you. So when I go to the cold place, 1 hour.
It felt nice. Make sure that all the documentation is in color. You get photos. You know where you can get photos all over the place. You can go to Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, wherever. For here in the U.S., in the Philippines, they have places in the malls.
Yeah, it's better for you guys to go on the mall because the photographer there know what the embassy needs. Unlike the other just on the road, just on the streets now. They're not accepting it.
Yeah. So the following items will not typically show proof of having the last 2 years. So here's some of the stuff you can't do. Copies of landline, copies of cell phone bills, appropriate or inappropriate letters or emails, stamps on the letters to document the date. No, that's not going to work. It has to show that you are physically there.
Yeah.
So if you've met online, if you've met through a friend or anything like that, it's still not going to work. You have to physically go there and meet and be together.
Or not in the Philippines. Like for example, girls were in the Philippines and the guy will be going to Hong Kong or wherever Asian parts. You can meet there. You can take pictures together. At least they know that you've been together.
Yep. So guys, if you're going over for work or there's another location where you need to be or want to be, you can take and both meet at that location and take pictures. But make sure you take pictures, okay?
Yeah.
And it needs to be pictures of you both in that country, whatever the country is. Okay, everything is done through mail. You're not going to, and this is talking about NVC and USCIS, the two places that you have to send the documentation. Everything's going to be done through mail. You can't do anything through the internet. You can download the copy through the internet and fill it out on the net, but you have to print it out and then physically send the stuff in. So here is a couple of things you need to look for. What you're going to send, first of all, to the fiancé, and this was talking about when this is information that you're going to send to NVC, but if you have this information prepared, this is what I was talking about earlier, and you go to the Philippines or Hong Kong, wherever, and you meet her, she can fill this information out there, and then you can take and send it in. So, but what it's saying is, you send that documentation to her, she fills her piece out, sends it back to you. When you send the copies, before you send copies to her or to NVC or USCIS, make sure that you document that you've done this. You need to have time, date that you sent it, tracking number that you sent it, and make sure you make a complete copy of all the paperwork that you're sending, just in case it gets lost. It does happen. Make a complete copy, put it back. That's for you. Whenever the I-29F is approved, you need to take a complete copy of everything that you have sent out to NVC. Excuse me, because you get once the I-29F is approved, then you have to send all your documentation to the fiancé in their country. In doing so, you need to make a copy for you. You take the rest and you send it over. Now, the copies basically are, let's see here. These are for that she'll be taking to the embassy. Part of them she'll be taking to the
before that,
medical.
Before that arrived, I waited for like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
This is the one that.
This is the one that frustrated me.
Yeah.
So the 129F, and again, later we're going to go through everything piece by piece, which ones you need to send to where and before and after. We'll go through all that. But the 129F, when you send it out, before you receive the approve to send all the documentation to her, it was 3 months. It goes through several processes within the government, and they send you a letter, and in the letter it says, okay, we're notifying you that we're picking up your letter.
That's both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks to 3 weeks later, you'd receive another letter notifying it that we're opening the letter and we're working a little bit on it, right? And then they send you another one about 2 or 3 weeks later, letting you know that we're sending it to this department. And it was just, they're keeping you updated, but man, it took a long time.
That's just yours, right? They updated yours, but not mine.
Yeah.
But they sent a letter for me that
When you were approved.
they're letting you know that yeah, you can make your schedule on U.S. Embassy for interview. Alright. So when you get that letter, call the U.S. Embassy and set an appointment. And then you're needing to fill up the information to pay the bank, right?
Yeah, we'll go into that here in a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Sorry.
jumped. Okay.
You need to contact the county in which you got the divorce in and get a copy of that. The county will have a complete copy of the stamped divorce decree. You'll send that for any divorces that you had. So if you were divorced twice or 3 times, you're going to have one for each one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is proof of legal name change. This is for you as well as for the fiancé. You have to have complete proof, whether you're a U.S. citizen or a Filipina. All the documents have to be there. Those copies have to be given to the USCIS.
Okay, so in regards to section C, question number 2 is, if applicable, provide certificate copies of all court and police records showing the charges and dispositions for any specified convictions in accordance with what's this?
In accordance with IMBRA. Now, what this means is, if you have taken, so let's start with U.S. citizen. If you're a U.S. citizen and you have, if you've had issues with the courts, with whatever, you have to go get the police records and show the charges, the dispositions of the charges, and any specific convictions. Okay? The Filipina has to do that as well. They have to have the police record. The
NBI?
MBI.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the MBI. All right. We've hit the end of part 1. And sorry for the length, but get ready for part 2.